Everybody's familiar with who Stewie is these days, the lovable tiny megalomaniac with a silver tongue, but anyone who has been watching Family Guy for a long time knows that Stewie can turn the cold switch on in an instant and be more sadistic than your average slasher B-movie serial killer. Today, we'll look at some of those moments where Stewie lets the mask slip just a tiny bit. Up first, we open with one of the classics. In this episode, Stewie is seen donning his finest top hat as he prepares for the high society television event of the season, the finale of the Cadwalladers of Essex.
Brian, tonight we sup on the finest feast of the television season.
Brian doesn't have the slightest of idea what Stewie's talking about and asks about the show. When Stewie gives a generic description of a British show about a wealthy family going through 1% adversity, Brian's predictably unimpressed.
Oh, I thought that got cancelled.
No, that was the Cadugans of Aubrey Mews. No, that's the Whitakers of Edgerton Crescent.
If you've never heard of any of these, congratulations on being emotionally well-adjusted. I, on the other hand, think these are peak cinema. But before Stewie can enjoy his bad teeth galore melodrama, Peter and Chris crash in like human wrecking balls while playing a game called Unga Bunga and slamming each other with mattresses.
It's the championship.
No way! This is why Zillow estimates our house at $4.
Oh, how I wish I could live in this blissful ignorance that engulfs Peter Griffin.
You imbeciles! You ruined my night! I ask for one thing in this house!
A completely valid crash out from the 2-year-old, and Meg tries to offer Stewie comfort.
Oh, do you want a hug from your big sister?
Ow!
Stewie goes in for the hug, but reveals his menace as he headbutts Meg, splitting her face open. I'd say Stewie did a good thing for once there. Lois tosses him in a timeout, and Stewie, fuming with rage, says a dramatic statement every sitcom child makes at least once in their televised life.
I wish I was never born!
Unlike most toddlers, Stewie means it. Brian finds him sulking, but Stewie isn't here for pats on the back.
What are you, running away from home?
Better.
As he reveals the time machine he has rebuilt, Stewie tells Brian about his plan, where which he will alter the past to stop himself from being conceived. That's right, the bald spawn of Satan wants to commit time travel suicide. Stewie then sets his coordinates to sabotage his birth while Brian is distracted. He lands in the pre-Stewie Griffin home, a familiar place where Peter hosts a late-night public access talk show.
Stick around or...
I'll come to your house and murder you!
Not much has changed, it seems. Stewie watches young doe-eyed Peter and Lois exchanging heartfelt drawings and disturbingly specific space-themed smut.
Wow, Peter and Lois were really in love before I was born.
And this is me getting you from behind, because in space, no one can hear you scream.
And here I thought Quagmire was the bad balance. It's the other way around. Cue sabotage mode. Stewie maxes out Lois's credit card on vibrating marital aids, frames Peter for graffiti, and donates all his porn to Goodwill. The tension rises better than an episode of The Sopranos. Stewie's plan is successful, and Lois and Peter break up, causing him to slowly fade away. But hold up, he vanishes from time, but is reborn as a British baby in a mansion, with servants, with a cat that duels, with everything he's ever dreamed of.
Welcome to your home.
This utopia quickly turns into a nightmare as Stewie comes face to face with the cold reality. His mother is emotionally gone. His father, a cold Oxford physicist in his crib, contains a loaded dueling pistol. Yeah, that last part's kinda cool. His siblings turn out to be insufferable as Jaden is smug and Aiden is mean. Stewie is, in a word, traumatized as his mother doesn't tuck him into bed.
Why isn't Mommy tucking me in?
Oh, hush, love. You're born now. That's the end of all this mummy nonsense.
Stewie realizes that he misses the Griffins because he lived among dumb people but wasn't the dumb one like he is here. And so begins Operation I Messed Up and It's Time to Fix It. He breaks into Oxford to rebuild the time machine because British security collapses under the power of tea. As he prepares the machine, he's stopped by his British father, but a classic kick in the cojones does the trick. He then promptly travels back to when Stewie was ruining past Lois and Peter's relationship.
Must believe me, the Griffins are your true destiny.
No, they're not. They're morons! But they're your morons, and they care about you.
The other Stewie is convinced after hearing about British Stewie's experience. They work together to fix the relationship, and a fake drawing in the fridge successfully reunites the Dellard couple. Just as Stewie is fading away, he then zaps back into the timeline as Lois and Peter make up when Peter is about to leave. British Stewie knows that because of this, his time is up.
I guess this is goodbye, Stewie. I'll miss you. You've taught me so much.
A chandelier falls on British Stewie in classic Family Guy fashion, and he begs original Stewie for help. But original Stewie just shrugs.
It is, and it's incredibly painful! Please help!
You know, you'll be fading away any moment.
Saying that he's about to fade away anyways. And here you must have been thinking, what's so evil about Stewie in this episode? Think again. The evil little devil then teleports back to his timeline, where everything is back to normal. But we'll always remember British Stewie in our prayers. Up next, we have one of the earlier Family Guy episodes, back when Stewie was a bit more unstable before the writers decided to take the easy way out. But that's just me. Continuing on. The episode starts with the family taking a trip to a toy shop where Stewie plays with something, but wait, Peter has a surprise for him.
Hey, come on, Stewie. Your mom and I have something for you.
Knowing Peter, this can be anything from a piece of chewed gum to a living dinosaur. You never know. Being the realist he is, Stewie has no expectations from his family, but to his surprise, they buy him a tricycle. The kid inside of him is absolutely geeked, as the youngins say.
Can you believe it? Our little Stewie learning to ride his first tricycle.
This just got wholesome for a second. That's not the Family Guy I'm familiar with. With Peter helping him, Stewie takes his first steps with the tricycle and can't help but love it. No man dislikes a little bike riding. Sometime later, Stewie rides along the Quahog footpath with his tricycle when he stops in front of a stereotypical bully.
Nice bike.
Oh, if that's not the understatement of the century.
It's cool.
Stewie doesn't realize that this is a classic case of bully snatching happening to him and casually lets the bully take his bike away like a smooth criminal, and I mean smoother than shaped like a rock. He spends the whole day waiting for him to come back, but it's actually Brian who arrives with some dog wisdom.
You've obviously never met a bully. He wasn't taking it for a test ride, he was just taking it.
You mean?
Brian, I don't think 2-year-olds have a concept of what bullying is. Even though he is evil incarnate, Stewie is a 2-year-old at the end of the day. He starts bawling, which is appropriate of his age. He then decides to take action and goes to the police, but they ignore the pleas of a toddler. Left with no choice, Stewie goes to hit the Quahog gym.
So what were you wanting to work on? Cardio, upper body, what?
Upper body, definitely. I need to get buffed.
Stewie realizes the capitalist health trap, which is a gym membership, and decides to hit some push-ups by himself at home. Later on, he confronts the bully in the middle of the day and hits him with a net gun, which captures him. He then drags the bully away. Turns out that Stewie took him back to his home and tied him up.
Well, isn't this a darling picture?
Let me go, man.
Here, we have a wild, evil Stewie in action. This is at least 5 counts of felony on just the kidnapping. Who knows what else he's gonna do? Stewie asks the bully his age and then goes straight into the hard questions.
Now tell me where my tricycle is!
I don't know. I lost it.
Stewie then decides to go Victorian torturer mode and pulls out a multi-functioning torture device. Just as he's about to permanently traumatize the bully, Lois arrives at the scene with his tricycle. And with that, Stewie is reunited with his first love. Never knew baby Hitler had a soft spot for 3-wheeled vehicles. Lois has one question though.
What's going on down here?
We're playing house.
The boy is all tied up.
Roman Polanski's house.
Considering the general IQ of the Griffin family, Lois believes this excuse. To think, the bully would have been Swiss cheese if Lois was a second late. Nobody is more evil than an angry 2-year-old in the town of Quahog. Next up, we all know how Stewie always used to talk about killing Lois. Well, one time he actually did it. But to see what actually happened, we will have to go back to Lois's birthday, where Brian gifted her 2 tickets to a cruise, hoping to spend some time with her. But all his dreams were brutally crushed.
Peter, what are you angry about? You get to go on a cruise with me.
What?
What?
Well, yeah, you didn't think Brian meant for me to go with him, did you?
Great.
However, Brian isn't the only one who gets his dream crushed, as Stewie assumes that his parents will take him along. But little did he know that his parents don't care about him.
Stewie, Peter and Lois aren't taking you with them. They've already boarded.
He gets angry like always and talks about how he will humiliate Lois when she comes back. He lays out a full master plan about how he will tie her to the bed and pour wax on her back. Welcome to 50 Shades of Stewie featuring his mother. Oof. Brian gets excited hearing his plans and tries to add to it, but Stewie doesn't like a dog's shades, which annoys Brian, so he decides to speak the truth.
Who cares? You're not gonna kill her anyway. You're gonna bitch and moan, and then you're gonna do what you always do. The minute Lois walks through that door, you're gonna forget all about it, beg for your apple juice, go poop, and fall asleep.
In Stewie's defense, apple juice really does some wonders, but this doesn't sit right with Stewie, as he finally realizes how much of a brag he has been lately, so he decides to go back to his prime. With his mind made up already, he heads to the boat where he finds Lois standing on the deck after a fight with Peter.
Hello, Mother.
Stewie? What the hell are you... How did you get here?
Oh, there's a very simple answer to that. You drove me here, Lois.
He decides to take child law into his own hands by telling her what crimes she committed before turning her into a cheese strip full of holes.
With all the indignities I've been forced to suffer day in and day out under your matriarchal tyranny.
What are you doing with a gun?
Something I should have done a very long time ago.
He celebrates like there is no tomorrow, feeling no remorse for killing his own mother, but the baby in him still lives on.
I did it! I killed her! She's dead! Mommy! Oh yeah, that's right.
The family grieves over Lois's disappearance, and Stewie roams free as no one suspects the most evil kid in town who has repeatedly talked about killing her. A year goes by just like that, and Stewie finally spills the beans in front of Brian.
Remember what you said? I'm all talk. I wouldn't possibly go through with it. I'll just poop and fall asleep.
My God.
One thing leads to another, and somehow Peter gets sent to court for Lois's murder because Joe finds the gun Stewie used to kill Lois in Peter's trash.
Mr. Griffin, I hereby sentence you to life imprisonment with no possibility of...
Peter almost gets sent to jail, but Lois appears out of nowhere again and tells the whole court who actually did it.
It was Stewie!
They don't believe her words, so she tells them what actually happened that day.
Mom, Stewie's just a baby.
No, he's not, Meg. He's evil. He shot me point blank right on the deck of the cruise ship.
Sounds like a very loving child. She tells them her journey from getting rescued by a merman who wants to make love to regaining her memories and returning back to Quahog. But during such a long yapping session, Stewie the Wonder Kid disappears.
Mom, Dad, Stewie's gone.
Don't worry, Lois, we'll catch him.
Stewie goes home before them and makes everyone do his bidding while pointing a pistol at them, but poor Cleveland enters the house and gets killed by Stewie.
Hey, Griffins, just checking in.
Holy crap!
He probably should have learned from 50 Cent on how to survive some bullets. Poor him. He takes Brian hostage afterwards and decides to flee the crime scene. They reach the CIA headquarters and sneak inside, where Stewie puts its latest plan of world domination into motion.
Once I locate the proper code sequence, this terminal will allow me to take command of the satellites which control the world's power grid.
The CIA, like always, fails to stop any act of terrorism, and Stewie manages to succeed right on time.
I'd drop the gun if I were you, Joe. I now control the entire planet's power grid. And unless you want me to send you all back to the Dark Ages, you'll do exactly as I say.
With all the power of the world in his hands, Stewie becomes the president of the whole world and announces his win in style.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message from the new president of the world.
Greetings, loyal minions.
Lois sees and realizes what a menace she gave birth to, and she decides she must be the one who will send him to the afterlife too. She transforms into Rambo and heads out for her first kill. She raids the White House soon after and engages in an epic gunfight with Stewie. They even shoot at each other mid-air while being a foot away from each other, but somehow not a single bullet hits them. Skill issue. Their fight lasts a while, but Lois manages to win in the end, but fails to bring herself to kill her own child. The same child that almost killed her. Stewie, being Stewie, doesn't miss the chance and turns the table on her.
I can't do it. You're a terrible, evil child, but you're still my baby, and I could never hurt you.
Oh, that works out perfectly because I can hurt you!
She should have learned her lesson the first time. Peter appears out of nowhere to save his wife from getting killed this time and shoots his own son without any hesitation. Savage. But in the end, it turns out that the whole drama was just a simulation run by Stewie to check what would have happened if he actually killed Lois.
Hey, Stewie, we got a postcard from Peter and Lois on the cruise. What are you doing?
Fooled us all. Next up on the list, we have the time when Stewie turned Brian into a crippled dog not once, but twice. He even put bullets into Brian's kneecaps just because Brian could not return Stewie's money on time. It all started from the time Stewie baited Brian into placing a bet on whether Mike Tyson could beat a woman in a boxing match or not.
Hey, Brian, care to place a wager? Tomorrow night on Fox's Celebrity Boxing, I've got Carol Channing beating Mike Tyson in 3 rounds.
Brian decided to place his money on Mike Tyson without skipping a beat, most probably based on how Mike was known for winning against women. Oof.
Carol Channing. You've got Carol Channing, the actress, beating Mike Tyson, the boxer. Hell, give me $50 on Tyson.
Yeah, you're in good company.
Freddie probably thinks that beating women is still legal. The legendary match finally begins after a while, and as expected, Carol takes a hell of a beating.
She's getting beat.
No, she's getting mad.
Mike's past experience can really be seen in this fight, as he does not hold back the slightest. He continues to beat her up, but she keeps getting back up like a white zombie, until Mike finally decides to give up, so despite all odds, Carol takes the win. Brian has a hard time believing that he actually lost that bet, but he has no choice but to accept it.
I don't believe this. I just lost a $50 bet.
Stewie would rather not wait for his money to come to him, so he goes to Brian to ask for it personally. But Brian tries to postpone it, so Stewie gives him some time, along with a subtle warning.
Yeah, well, here's a suggestion. Have the money by tomorrow and there won't be any problems.
Huh?
Yeah, 24 hours.
Brian doesn't take the most evil baby's warning seriously. And boy, let me tell you, he couldn't have made a worse decision than this. And he soon realizes that himself when the next day arrives.
Oh, well, all right then. That's good, OJ.
He beats the living hell out of Brian before going from using his hands to using a towel hanger and even gives him a sip of the good old toilet water.
You got till 5 o'clock. You hear me? You got till 5 o'clock.
That 5 o'clock must probably feel like the deadline of life to Brian, but a dog never learns his lesson. He continues to dodge Stewie, but his luck soon runs out.
Morning.
Good day to you, sir. Hey, wait a minute, what the hell?
Like we all know, Stewie doesn't hold back even a little bit, so he pushes Brian down the stairs and beats the dog shit out of him using a golf stick. Not only did he lose a $50 bet, but he also got $1 million worth of medical expenses thanks to Mother America. Stewie even takes revenge for buying the mustache to fool him by shooting a bullet into both Brian's knees. That mustache only cost him $2.99 and 2 knees.
Yeah, how much you pay for that fake mustache?
$2.99.
Stewie's evil knows no bounds as he even turns Chinese to make a dog roast out of Brian. Brian finally realizes after getting beaten, shot, and roasted that the $50 are not worth the hassle.
All right, let's go to the bank.
Should have realized that much sooner. He sure as hell won't make a bet with Stewie again after this. If you thought it couldn't get any worse, I am sorry to break your hearts, because next in the list we have the time when Stewie killed a person over simple jealousy. Love really does drive a man crazy, and for Stewie, the word crazy would be an understatement. It all starts from the time Meg got sick of babysitting Stewie, so she finally quits.
Finally! Look, Mom, I've had it! I am not babysitting anymore. It's Saturday night. I could be out having a life.
Just for the video's sake, Lois really cooks Meg by asking her not to lie about having a life.
Meg, if you don't want to babysit anymore, that's fine, but don't you stand there and lie to me.
This leads to the search for a new babysitter, but it's hard to find anyone normal in Quahog. All hope was lost until finally she stepped into the house.
Sorry I'm late. Can I still apply for the job?
With curves like those, she instantly took over Stewie's little heart like a storm. But most probably his heart wasn't the only excited in his body, just like the rest of you. Soon, the fateful day arrives for the babysitter named LaDawn to take care of Stewie, who prepares himself to impress the young lady.
Oh, hey, LaDawn. Hey, what's going on? How are you? Yeah. Oh, it's just me, Stewie. Just being myself. Yeah. Oh, well, this here? Oh, it's just my package.
Like they say, big things come in small packages. And so his first self-proclaimed date with LaDawn goes quite well, because the ladies love babies.
Stewie, you are so cute I can't even stand it.
Oh, thank you. I'm having a good time, too.
Stewie the Rizzler thinks that being called cute means she will marry him. And soon, he gets another chance to spend some time with her. But his dreams get crushed very easily.
Stewie, this is Jeremy.
Hey, little man. So you're the guy who's been trying to steal my girlfriend.
LaDawn puts Stewie to sleep, but his love for her stays awake. And after a while, he goes down only for his heart to be broken again. He sees the two kissing, and that's when he decides to go back to being evil.
All right, that's it. Jeremy must be destroyed.
Things like these prevent a guy from ever falling in love again, and Stewie does not sit back. He goes to Jeremy's house and waits for Jeremy to come back. He even politely makes a drawing of them together in which Jeremy is dead. He appears out of nowhere like Batman and beats Jeremy down before tying him up and putting him into the trunk along with his iPod. With Jeremy out of the way now, Stewie masterfully plans to court LaDawn next by being the perfect boy best friend who is there to help her move on from her breakup.
Stewie, no! That is a bad place to touch, no!
You all know how that goes. This doesn't sit well with him as he has never been humiliated like that, so he threatens to have her fired.
Well, how about no more job? You hear that, Miss Fussy Britches? I shall see you fired, damn you!
To some, it might sound like a little kid's tantrum for not getting his milk, but this isn't just any average kid. It's the spawn of the devil, Stewie. So on the next date, he takes his revenge by successfully touching the blinkers.
Oh my god, LaDawn, what's that on your neck?
But it doesn't just end there, as he stays on his word and makes sure she gets fired by turning her into a drug addict in front of Lois.
I don't...
You know what? Don't bother, LaDawn. You are fired.
Lois does as Stewie planned, and she instantly fires LaDawn. And that's how you handle a heartbreak. Please don't try this at home. Let's brighten up the mood a little bit now, because up next we have another evil moment which doesn't have such a severe ending. This moment laid the vision in everyone's mind about how Stewie is an evil brat who wants to kill Lois. This is from the show's first episode, in which Stewie creates a mind control device while trying to kill Lois multiple times. It all starts from the time Lois took the mind control device from Stewie, thinking it's a toy.
Stewie, I said no toys at the table.
Damn you, vile woman!
He orders her to return it peacefully, but she doesn't listen, so he warns her about her impending doom.
Return the device, woman.
No toys, Stewie.
Very well then. Mark my words. When you least expect it, your uppance will come.
Lois being Lois doesn't pay any attention to his words and ignores him, but it doesn't take long for Stewie to begin his revenge plan. He tries to kill her by breaking the leg on a chair so she falls and breaks her neck, but it doesn't work out for the evil kid.
My goodness, this chair leg was loose. Isn't that silly? I could have broken my neck.
damn.
He fails once again, but he doesn't give up just yet, so he tries to shoot her the next time. But being a 1-year-old still has its downside, no matter how evil you are, so he misses the shot. Skill issue.
What the deuce are you staring at? It's tuna fish. And nothing else.
It's only tuna fish and a kid with bad aim. He goes into James Bond mode to recover his mind control device, so he sneaks into the kitchen during the night and manages to recover the device, although he falls to the ground.
Victory is mine! Ah!
He thinks that victory is his with the mind control device in his hands again, and like you could have all predicted, he decides to make Lois the first target.
Well, well, Mother. We meet again.
Stewie, I thought I tucked you in an hour ago.
Not tightly enough, it would seem.
Little does Stewie know, Lois's reflexes have been trained over the years to max level thanks to her dodging Peter's punches, so she easily swipes it out of his hands before placing it in the cupboard again. He goes back to trying to kill Lois again, and it's about time that he learns that he is not built for shooting anything, as he shoots arrows at her but misses once again. After losing all hope, Stewie decides that the hard way is not working, so he needs to take the easy way now, which is by giving Lois some chocolates.
Hello, Mother.
Well, hi there, sweetie.
You know, Mother, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Psych, you all thought Stewie can be that good? Not until the day he beat Satan himself. He opened the box of chocolates and reveals that it's full of grenades before threatening Lois to return his mind control device. Lois doesn't really take him seriously again and returns the mind control device, thinking that it's just a toy. Meanwhile, Peter ends up going to court because of a fraud, and Lois tries to defend him, so the judge sentences them both to 24 months in jail. Best thing the judge could have ever done. Stewie realizes that he needs the two fools to live an easy life, so he decides to test out his completed mind control device on the judge. Surprisingly enough, the mind control device made by a 1-year-old ends up working, and the judge decides to free the two because he cannot separate them from such a small child. Separating that evil kid from two dumb parents might have actually been the best decision he could have ever made, but Stewie's mind control device prevents him from doing so. He even helps Peter get his job back so he doesn't have to live in a poor household. Love makes a person go blind, and no matter how clever you may be, love still does its magic. That's why next on the list we have the time Stewie fell in love with another spawn of the devil named Penelope, who was just as evil as him. It all starts from the time when he meets Penelope.
My name's Penelope. What's yours?
Stewie, I've never seen you around here before.
I'm new to town and I don't have many friends.
All right.
Penelope shows off her evil side by killing a kid who pushed Stewie by making him choke on a candy made with super glue, and this marks the start of their evil bond. They become good friends, and one time she talks about her dead mom and reveals that she was the one who killed her by chopping her head off.
No, she died. She was taking a tub and somebody came in and cut her head off.
Wait a moment. Did you kill her?
He falls for her right at that moment after realizing she's just like him, just 2 steps further into hell. Stewie doesn't take any chances and confesses quickly, which goes in his favor. And so begins their little evil journey together, and don't hold back in the least. One evil baby was hard enough on the world, but with 2 of them in the same team, they're unstoppable. They blow up the Great Wall of China and bomb the Eiffel Tower together, while Stewie also makes Pakistan and India go to war by sending a fake letter.
We blew up the Great Wall of China, bombed the Eiffel Tower, and look at this note I sent off. Dear Pakistan, up yours. Love, India. Let's see what happens.
But thankfully, this partnership doesn't last for long, otherwise the world would have ended. Penelope tries to kill Brian because he tries to bring Stewie to the right path, and that marks the end of their small relationship. Stewie ends up fighting her and wins by a slight margin, and so they go their separate ways. And that's why humanity is still alive. Otherwise, no chance in front of that duo. And so our list comes to an end for today. If you like the content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel, so you continue to get even more hilarious and unique Family Guy content from us. Until then, it's lights off for the world of Quahog and its funny little characters.